What's the matter, Maeve? Did we get something we don't like? Did we eat a bug? Do we need water? Don't you eat the okra? So she trampled it instead. This is Maeve, and I'm Greg, and this is my desert garden, the Caliche Crucible. I want to share how I garden in the Arizona low desert. I'm in Chandler, Arizona. Our growing seasons are short and unpredictable, and our summers are blazing hot. But with the right tools and a little bit of know-how, we can capitalize on the abundant sun and heat and our unique weather patterns to grow and produce food and flowers that some gardeners can only dream of. I think what happened with that flower back there in Maeve is that there were some little solitary bees on there, and most of them don't have a sting, or if they do, it's just like a little pinprick. And I think that's probably what happened there, and why she reacted the way that she did. But today I'm preparing my garden for a heat wave that's coming this weekend. It is Friday, May 8th, 2026. It is expected to hit 99 to 103 degrees today. And over the weekend, it could get as high as 108. And when we have temperatures like that, I usually take that as like plus or minus a few degrees. You never want to eat the nasturtium. It's edible. Nasturtium is indeed edible. It has kind of some people call it peppery. I think it tastes a lot like radish. And this makes sense because I do believe it is in the order Brassicales, just like radishes. Brassicas, of course, being your cabbages and kales, and a whole host of other plants that you didn't know were related, or sometimes even the exact same plant, just looking different. As we follow Maeve, I do want to kind of hone in on the purpose of the video today. It is indeed covering some of the things that I do ahead of a heat wave when I know one's coming, and I have the time and energy to take care of it. But first we need to scold Maeve. You always have to go the most destructive route. Look at all that room that she has to not trample the lavender. I did kind of check her out right here, and it looked like she might have had a little string in her mouth or something. That happens sometimes. And then I was wondering if maybe she had gotten a little hot, so I put her over where I was misting the broccoli. Didn't seem to hate it, but she was also very interested in going to bed. And sleeping for a few days is a totally normal reptilian way to deal with something like a bee sting in the mouth. But I'm still going to keep an eye on her. The mist I have going here is to give the area some general cool, and I was noticing some hydrophobic soil in the area, so I just wanted to make sure everything was nice and watered ahead of the heat wave. This is taking place kind of late in the afternoon on the 7th of May. Again, it wasn't quite as warm yet, so we were pre-cooling, but adding mist to your garden is a good way to get things nice and cool. I do try to make sure that it's not in the most intense parts of the sun, so this area was quickly moving into afternoon shade from my neighbor's wall. Going back to Maeve, I didn't really need to move the bolted radish out of her way, but it was blocking my view of her, so I figured it might be blocking yours as well. If you ever do plant radishes and want to have more radishes later, just let some of them go to seed like that. They have pretty little flowers. Bees like the little flowers. And when the flowers go to seed, they actually have a little fruit. It kind of looks like a cross between a chili pepper and a pea pod, and it has a really strong mustard flavor. They are edible, so enjoy at your own peril. I have eaten a few, and I can't say the flavor is for me, but it's also not terrible. Everybody say goodbye to Maeve. Now for our next trick, we're going to take a wire basket, put it over a plant, and add a ceramic toad. We can also take a wire basket, put it over some seedlings, like so, and add a rock. And for my final trick, we turn the basket upside down, fill it with rocks, and put it on an undesired plant, and leave it in the sun. This is the other side of where we were misting the other day with Maeve, and I'll go over why we're here in a moment, because this segment is pretty long. But those baskets, they do a couple of things. They protect your plants from birds and Maeve and bunnies and other, oh god, there's the toad again, and anything else that's coming through your yard that might do that. They provide some nominal shade for seedlings, but I would really rely on something like shade cloth or like a pillowcase. But you could put the pillowcase over the trash can, and that would definitely work. So what I'm doing here is just going through and inspecting my soaker hoses, including some of the areas that are harder to see, because the soaker hose runs under the poppy, and I can't tell if you can see it way down there, but what I'm looking for is, are there any areas that aren't dripping at all? Look at the size of that Seminole pumpkin. It is growing daily, and there are more and more fertilized fruits thanks to the sand bees having wild parties in the flowers, performing the birds and the bees. Without the birds and with the flowers. So along here, this area always seems to be a little dry. I don't know what it is. This soaker hose, in my opinion, kind of underperforms, while the first segment of this hose overperforms. But running my finger along it, it did seem to have some moisture kind of throughout, but it does really only need to water those plants that it's right up against, and a Texas Ranger or a sage thing, that nasturtium will not last for long. But I do want to point out this sunflower. I don't know what variety it is, but it forked very early in life. Maybe I pinched it thinking it was something else, and it decided to grow like that. But so here we are. This is kind of the final stretch. Taking a look at the fennel, making sure that it's getting plenty of water, and underneath all this mulch is some good moist soil. That's a broccoli that is trying to grow back after being chopped down. And my nice, the one nasturtium that I got that variegated this year. Mulch is going to be another key component for your garden, and I have that bag of mulch sitting over there, and I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put that, because I do have a seedling project going off to the side. There's more fennel, there's more okra. I came back later and covered those with some of the straw that the thrashers kicked out of the bed. So yeah, I decided that I don't need quite so many nasturtiums. So these are walking stick kales and some cabbages. I think they're twister or snowball cabbages. They're both, they have a really upright growth. There's my mahogany hibiscus. So those stalks will kind of keep going as long as you keep harvesting lower leaves. And perhaps even if you don't harvest those lower leaves. And then, so here's a good amount of broccoli on one plant. And then here we have just kind of a little pollinator garden that I have going with some native and near native plants. That's a Texas ebony. I didn't realize they grow really slow before I planted it, but that's a coyote gourd. And then I'm also just inspecting the remainder here to make sure everything's good to go. And then over here, another heat strategy is just having plants do the work for you. So here's another one of those walking stick kales. And you can see that its kind of overhang here is going to cover the stonework that I have laid out. There's an eggplant that's reaching out and I guess wants to get more sun. But I also have these amaranth that are providing canopy Um, so, and just I'm kind of rearranging the kale here to make sure that it is reaching its full growth potential, and I don't want those leaves down in the understory. I want them all in the upper area. And then I dropped the phone. But I've also got Ruellia growing in there, Mexican petunia. And then I'm just coming around and inspecting my other plants for signs of wilting or, more than just heat stress. It's about 8 in the morning and already close to 90 degrees in this shot. And that sunflower is so smooth and velvety. So these structures are really nice. They're pretty cheap on Amazon. You can probably find them on Temu for cheaper, but I don't know what quality you'll get. That's a dead sunflower that I put out for birds, and it's really stuck in there pretty bad. Got it. Anyway, those structures, those towers are really nice. You can use them to obviously trellis your plants and kind of keep them under control. It's not working on that jasmine, but left-handed yeet. I do use those as structures to hang shade cloth from. Sometimes I'll wrap the shade cloth. Sometimes I'll just hang it from a single side. Sometimes I'll spread those two pots apart and put the shade cloth between them to cover the plants that are in the pots and the plants that are in the area. And I remembered while we were filming here, Armenian cucumber ready to go. I think it's ready to go. I've actually never successfully grown these before just because I've not had the patience or the space. I always want the pumpkins. So we're going to grab that and put it in my little harvest basket that I didn't film. But you can kind of see it right there. And then, so coming over to this part of the garden, that's the west side, and I'm not so worried about that. And then I've got the burlap and the Halloween cheesecloth kind of protecting everything there. And I'm totally forgetting about, there's my cute clips. But I'm totally forgetting about behind me my giant shade cloth that I purchased specifically to protect this side of the yard. So instead I just kind of grabbed whatever cloths I could, and I was thinking, I guess I'm going to have to get out my bed sheets, and I don't have any crummy bed sheets, and so there's nothing else that I can use. Nope, not at all. But this is a little project for later. That's where that mulch is going to go. And there's my broccoli harvest for today. Just a whole sink full of brassicas. And anyway, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.